Welcome into the Lagniappe Show, episode 6. I didn't even think this thing was going to be able to happen. I am Jon, and I got Kelly with me. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Kelly was supposed to come join me over the weekend on Saturday, and we were going to do a podcast, and we were going to go play some disc golf, and probably bring his Xbox over, and we were just going to video game and all this or that. But we live in South Louisiana, and I don't, depends on when you hear this podcast, but we have a thing called a hurricane. It's not a hurricane yet. It's a tropical storm. It'll be a hurricane late Friday night, early Saturday morning that is developing and totally ruining all our plans. But Kelly is off. He's on his vacation time. And so I was able to convince him to come on over and do a podcast with me. At least we can get the podcast in and hang out for a little while and just chill out instead of not doing it at all. I said in the previous podcast, you gotta be consistent to be successful, and I definitely got to be more consistent. So that's what I'm doing. So we're getting this thing in. You may be able to hear my kids screaming in the background. It is a Thursday night. We are about 8:50 p.m. is when we're rolling this, but we're getting it done, man. How you been?
I'm good.
And I do apologize if you listen to the previous podcast, the little technical difficulties. It's been a while since I did it, so it was very, you could hear my AC blowing in the background. It's kind of very spacey. This one should be a much better quality. I think I learned my lesson from what happened last time. I got a keto margarita going. That's what I'm rolling with right now. It's actually, you can buy this. This is a Jose Cuervo mix. It's the light margarita mix. So super low calorie, super low carbs. And,
Looks pretty good from over here.
I got a Reposado. I like the darker tequilas. I like the aged tequilas. I like the Reposados. But I wanted to go, look, I'm mixing it, right? So I'm going with the aged tequila, the Reposado, but it's Sauza. It's $14. So it's a cheap one that you can mix. And that's what I'm rolling with, just that. And I don't find unfortunately, the Jose Cuervo isn't sweet enough for me. When I drink a margarita, I got a sweet tooth. I really want it to be sweet, so I dump a couple packs of Equal in there, and then that kind of just makes it work for me.
That's nasty.
Hey,
Equal is gross.
Hey, well, yeah, when you're used to sugar all the time, But there's no sugar in that, what you're drinking right now. Kelly's drink of choice isn't an alcoholic beverage, actually. He's drinking what I think is way too sweet for me, the Rainbow Unicorn Bang energy drink.
I like it. It's good.
He likes it, but he likes sweet stuff, man.
It's better than the coffee one. The coffee one, that's a waste of money. I drank about 3-4 swigs of it, and I threw it right in the trash. After paying $5 for it, I wouldn't recommend it at all.
That's what I hear, and when I heard it was first coming out, I got really excited about the Bang coffee drinks, but there's still like 10 or 11 carbs in that drink, and there may be some fiber in it. I don't know. I don't do the I'm still on the keto diet. I don't follow the net carbs, where you subtract the fiber from it because the fiber isn't digested, so you have net carbs. I don't even follow that. I just go straight up by pure carbs. So I am not only low carb, but I'm super low carb, and it's worked up to this point.
Yep.
Getting freaking shredded, dude.
You look small. You look like a little, almost like a kid. Come on now.
Well, hey, I'm really not a big dude, man.
No.
I'm not a big dude to begin with, but I'm going to bulk up a little bit in the fall, but,
You pretty much at your smallest I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, but I'm healthy, though. I feel the best I've seen. I get up in the morning, I go run around the neighborhood. I have off days. So, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday is my workout days. I'll go run around the neighborhood, come back, do some dumbbells, weightlifting routines, and this sort of deals. Tuesdays and Thursdays and the weekend are my rest days. You got to rest and let your body build back up.
Yeah.
And, you actually gain better that way. But anyways, I had a day which was my Tuesday. This past Tuesday was supposed to be a rest day for me. But I woke up and I was just feeling it, man. I was feeling it. I was like, look, I'm not going to do any weights or whatever. I definitely need a day in between of resting for weights. But when it comes to just running, like, I can run. Screw it. I was just feeling it that morning. I got out there on a rest day, and I beat my personal best time for running around the neighborhood by almost a solid minute, by 56 seconds faster. The fastest I've ever done it. Fastest I've ever done it. And that time is actually like, I think 2 or over 2 minutes faster than when I first started doing it. So since I first started running around my neighborhood, I'm like 2 minutes faster now, or at least my fastest time is.
Building
progression.
Building up some stamina.
That's what it is. You know, I tell people, look, you know, when I diet and exercise and this or that, and you know, people say, I don't know why you don't need to do that. You don't need to. Look, I may have been small and slim, but I didn't have a gas tank. I had no endurance. I would run out of gas in 10 feet, you know?
Yeah.
I might have looked like I was in shape with shirts on and stuff because I didn't even have much muscles back then either. But I still didn't have a gas tank. As thin as I was and all that, I would get out of breath quick. Well, I'm trying to work on that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Helps in the bedroom, too, sometimes. You know?
Oh, Lord. God. God dang. You had to bring that up.
You got to bring that up. So, hey, man, we got, it's Barry. It's Barry. I got a coworker that we work with, so we're all guilt-tripping him.
The magician.
He's taking his vacation today. This is his vacation. His vacation starts today.
So he can come tear us up.
Yeah, so he can come tear us up. He just, you know. Tropical Storm Barry, which is going to become Hurricane Barry. And we're already getting a little bit of showers, kind of the outer ring stuff, but we're going to get more of the rain tomorrow, and shit's really going to hit the fan Friday night, early Saturday morning, full-blown hurricane. And we've done it. Look, it's probably going to be a Cat 1. It's got a potential for a Cat 2. But it's still... You know, no matter what category it is, it can spawn off tornadoes. And it's really, a lot of times, the tornadoes that do the damage. But in my area where I live, we have a huge flooding problem. It's gotten better since they came dig the ditches. We had a historic flood in 2016. I was a victim of it. We had to get my floors replaced and all of this stuff. And since then, they've come and they dug the ditches out, cleaned it up a little bit. It's been better. But flooding is still something we have to worry about, the water dump and how much water comes. And there's just, you know, you have the Mississippi right now that's pretty much at its limits because it takes water from the rest of the nation. And just, you know, they were debating whether or not to open up the Morganza spillway, and they kept pushing it back because they didn't want to have to do it. And we just got big flooding issues down here in South Louisiana, and we're slowly working on it. But things like this do not help. So I think flooding is probably the biggest issue I'm worried about. I'm not too worried about wind with the Cat 1 or Cat 2. You know, I'm not on the coast. We live, you know, if you look up Lafayette on a map, it's, a bit away from the coast. Still southern Louisiana, but it'll once it hits land, it kind of slows down, and it's not as strong either. So I think with the wind, we'll be all right. But the flooding is the main concern.
Yeah. I live in a mobile home now, and everybody's always talked bad about living in a mobile home, but my last house I lived in flooded, and it destroyed all the floors, a brand new SUV, and now I got out of that house, and I live in a new mobile home that's about 4 feet off the ground, and my yard is high up. So I'm not worried about the flooding anymore. It's more of wind and that, but it's anchored into the cement in the ground. So
yeah.
But I had my fair share of flooding. I lived at 2 houses that had water get at least up to the top step or into the house. So now I don't have to worry about the flooding.
Yeah, and
that sucks, man. Losing vehicles in your house. That's huge. I mean,
it is. It's just, and a lot of red tape too afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing with me and flood insurance, and my political philosophy and stuff. Yeah, I'm stupid. Look, I take the lick for not having flood insurance when we got flooded. But I always tell people when I first became a homeowner, I lived in a mobile home, 4 feet. I think it was really actually 4.5 feet off the ground or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it flooded. I was in a flood zone, so I had to get it. I was obligated. There was no choice. I had to get flood insurance. And yeah, it flooded over there, but it wasn't a chance it was going to damage the mobile home 4.5 feet off the ground. It never nearly got that high. Man, maybe the worst it was like a foot of water.
Yeah.
It was never bad enough there. So, and then I was paying $600. The rate was something like $600 something a year. And so I spent, I don't know how long I was there, 6 to 8 years. I don't know, something like that. 6 to 8 years paying $600 a year for flood insurance. And I was in a flood zone, and it was useless. It was pointless.
Yeah.
And they just dicked me out of money is how I seen it. And then so I'm buy this new house, and when we're buying it, they're telling us it's not in a flood zone. So I'm like, it's not in a flood zone. I've been living in a flood zone for 6 to 8 years, didn't come close to flooding, paying $600 a year for flood insurance. No fucking way. No flood insurance. I'm not getting it. We're not even in a flood zone. Why would I even have to worry about it? Guess what? It fucking floods over here, buddy. So, and so I got caught. I wasn't going to, I tried to save money, and it bit me in the ass. And, the money I spent for no reason at all, because they said I had to, didn't come back to help me either in the situation. I put money in that pot, and it got wasted, and then I went without it and took my lick. So it hit me negative both ways, and I'm a little bit worried about this storm as well, because we got flood insurance again, but at the time when it came time to renew, budget was tight, and we're like, I don't think we can renew, so we did not renew, and now we got this thing coming. But I will say we got squeaky, and the government came in, and they dug the ditches, and they cleaned them out. And since then, it's been much better. Like, our ditches will fill up, but they actually drain. And the previous problem is they'll fill up and they wouldn't drain, and they would just stay. Like when we had that 2016 flood, we were flooded. I was there for 4 days. The water didn't even go down for 4 days.
Wow.
It just stagnant, and it was nasty. When water doesn't even move for 4 days, and it's all on the ground, and it's like sewage ditches and stuff. It's nasty, and bacteria starts to grow in there. You go play in that, you can get sick. And
once it touches the wood underneath your house, it's gonna suck that water up, and it's gonna start buckling. Yeah, it don't take long. And you said 4 days it just sat like
that? 4 days it sat at the same level, man. It was awful.
Your insulation and your
wood, yeah. It was.
Your floors are gone.
We had to rip it all out.
Some people have to tear up all the walls up 3-4 feet in the house.
See, well, we didn't get water in the house. It was just under.
Yeah.
But it was enough. It was enough moisture and contact to buckle, a lot of the floors, and we had to come out and just rip it all out and put some new flooring in.
That's something you can't afford to keep doing.
No.
That would just kill you. That's a big expense. That's like keep buying a vehicle over and over.
So I just hope, I don't have time to go get sandbags. I got to work. So I work in, I mentioned this previously before, work in radio, and we do the hurricane thing. So when power goes out or whatever, if you still have your batteries and your radio, you can tune into us and still listen to what's going on with the storm. And it's one of the reasons we have a license to be a radio station. It's public service. We serve the public. And I always, since I was young and I was in the radio game, I always got excited for hurricane coverage, because for me it's like a party. You hear people talk about throwing hurricane parties in South Louisiana. Well, in radio, it's kind of like a party, too, because you start doing around-the-clock coverage. Like most radio stations at midnight or whatever, there's no DJ. It's just programmed. Overnight, there's nobody there. Mm-hmm. It's just programmed, pre-recorded stuff. And hurricane coverage, people are all on board, full on board. And so people go. You bring your sleeping bag, your air mattresses, your breads, your lunch meat, all your snacks and stuff, because you're going, could be 2.5 days, and you're sleeping at the radio station. Yeah. And a lot of people, you bring your family. I'm doing that this weekend. I'm bringing my family, and we'll be in there because, I don't know what's going to happen with this house and the flooding issue, and we can't go back and forth, and my family feels more confident being with me. See, if I was here with my family in this house, would be fine. Losing electricity and everything else, because I know how to hack it. I've lived without electricity for weeks before. You remember Hurricane Lily? Yeah. When we were in high school, it came. We were out with electricity for like 2 weeks. We did. I did. I've been through it.
Worst part is no air conditioning.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
Oh my God! So you open up your windows, right, to make it cooler, but then all the humidity comes in, and your sheets are like sticking to you. It's all nasty.
It's miserable.
Oh, it. But I know how to do it.
The only thing I've seen that can help without a generator is if you have a carport or something, put a mattress down and go lay down and try to sleep underneath something where you're getting air. The hurricane is the blowing wind, so you're gonna have at least something to keep you cool. But in the house, nope.
Yep.
Especially if you have a big house and you open the windows, you're still not gonna hardly feel anything.
Yeah, but I've been there, and I know I can survive, and I know what to do, but I can't just have my wife and the kids, here. So they're coming to the station, and the other people work with are bringing, some of them are bringing their families with them there, and it's kind of like a party. We work in shifts. You work half this day, I work half this day, and you sleep at different times. You on and off, and everybody kind of hangs out, and you can kind of eat together and sharing food, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of like a party, but we're doing work as well, and we're still serving the public, and we make sure we get the word out. And I always, since I started radio, I was a part of it. I was a small part of it. At one point, I remember the first time I did a hurricane coverage, I was just every time they send an update on the wire, get the papers, print them out, bring them to us, and they read them on air. I was just like the coffee boy, you know what I mean? And the bring the papers boy. And now, obviously, I've progressed past that point. But it was exciting to me. It was exciting. And I have to say, I'm geeked up. I'm geeked up for another weekend of hurricane coverage. As a radio nerd, I guess. I guess it's the radio nerd in me, but I am. I'm geeked up for it. And tonight is the last night. Sleeping here tonight. Tomorrow night I'm sleeping at the station. Saturday night we'll probably sleep at the station. Hopefully everything's all right. We can come back Sunday and stay here. But you never know.
Yeah. How y'all going to sleep on air mattresses?
We got an air mattress. The floor sucks in there. It's it's a floor. There's nothing to it. Yeah. So we got.
Don't I know all those nights I'd go and sleep.
Well, this is in the new building, but still the floor's not any better. Mm-mm. It's like sleeping on concrete. So we did get an air mattress. It's queen size. Probably the wife and the kids will sleep on it at one time, and then there'll be a time where I'll knock off. It depends on how we structure everything with my coworkers, because you have to take it in shifts.
And y'all got plenty of rooms to say,
plenty.
Hey, we're not using this room. I'm going to sleep in it.
Yeah. Everybody's got an office. And and the offices are big enough to where pretty much everybody can have an air mattress in it, and their family can sleep in there, and bring your own TV or video games.
Hopefully
or whatever.
Frostos is open. Across the street. Go get some of that good stuff.
I can only have I've had Frosto before. Obviously, I can't eat the bread right now on the keto. I'm still keeping keto through all of this. We went hit up the grocery stores. By the way, if you're not familiar with South Louisiana and like hurricane stuff, when people find out that there's a hurricane coming, all the bread is gone in like 2 or 3 hours.
And the Little Debbie snack cake. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm.
And the natural light. The natural light flies off the shelves, man. You go right now, I guarantee you. You go to Walmart, you go to any grocery store, Champagnes, and all these little local supermarkets or mini marts, mom and pop shops. There's no bread. I mean, the shelves are empty, man.
And I don't understand that.
Well, you got to stock up. I mean, in case,
sandwiches maybe, but I mean, what else would you use bread for during a storm?
Just to eat. If you go 2 weeks and you can't cook shit, see, I got propane, so I can cook on my gas grill.
Yeah,
we got the butane burner.
Yeah,
we can cook on that. But some people, if you don't have that, you got to eat stuff that you don't have to cook.
I can see like
bread and milk,
dry cereal, granola bars. If you have any kind of way to boil water, you got oatmeal, grits, Vienna sausages, Spam. There's plenty of options. Chips. Besides eating bread, just bread. Come on.
Well, yeah. I mean, they eat other stuff with bread. They eat sandwiches.
Maybe Vienna sausages. Loaded down.
Mm-hmm.
But
bread helps. It bloats you a little bit. So I think that's why they do it.
Now, I already got a game plan myself. When me and you and your dad always go to a sports event and stuff, I load down my ice chest with a bunch of homemade ice out the ice maker.
Homemade ice. And I love how you call it homemade ice.
I don't have to buy it. It's already in the water bill, you heard? Easy. Already in that water bill, $21 a month.
Homemade ice. It comes from his ice maker in his fridge. Homemade ice.
Oh, yeah. And then I take a 2-liter bottle of Coke that's used, wash it out, and make a big block of ice. Well, last time we done that, I had put a good amount in that ice chest I have, and I had left it in the trunk of my car for 3 days. And then when I went and get it out, it was still ice cold, that water in there. Mm-hmm. So I put a bunch of ice to the side right now. If the electricity goes out, I'm going to load my ice chest that's in my house, and I'm going to throw all my good meats and all that in Ziploc bags, shove that in there. Mm-hmm. And then I have my little burners so I can cook whatever. Up to about 3 days of cold stuff.
Oh, and see, that's my dad calling me right now. I'll get back with him. He doesn't know I'm doing a podcast. He probably wants to know what's going on with the storm and what we're doing, and I'll get back with him. But yeah, man, that's kind of the deal too. We'll get some ice. I got a deep freezer, so we'll keep it cold there, and then I'll keep it in the deep freezer because we're not going to stay at the station for, if we're out of power for a week, I'm not going to keep my family at the station for a week. We'll come back to here and we'll get it done.
Yeah.
And, but we'll have, I can keep a bag or two of ice in the deep freezer. And then when it's, if we come back here and we need it, we can take it out, dump it in an ice chest, and probably good enough for at least 2 days of keeping meat cold or whatever. Or, milk cold. What's good about it too is maybe raw meat, not necessarily, but once you cook it, then you can put it back in there, and a lot of meat once it's cooked, it doesn't have to be as cold.
Yeah.
And that lasts longer.
Two things: have a lot of fuel in your vehicle. If you're out for a few days and no power and it gets real hot, you can at least go sit by whiles in your vehicle, put the AC on, get some cool relief, and it gives you a way to charge your phone. If you have data, you can still get online and check things out.
Listen to the radio, find out what's going on.
Have a power bank for your phone. Mm-hmm. Like me, I have a jumper pack to boost my vehicle, but it can charge your phone 4 or 5 times. And I keep that fully charged, so I can just put that in my house and get it out the vehicle. Just little things like that will keep you, you can listen to the radio online. Even though power's out, you can listen to radio stations about the weather, what's going on. Because I don't really listen to regular radios anymore. It's just whatever's on your phone.
Yep, and that's where it's going, and that's what we're doing. And I'm not going to promote my radio stations. I don't want it following me here to these podcasts, but it's what we do. It's public service. why we're here, and it's an exciting time. I don't know. I'm a radio nerd. It's exciting for me, so I can't wait to get in and do that. And we're at the station. We have a generator, obviously, because we got to stay up. We got to do this stuff. So the equipment's got to keep working. We got to keep broadcasting. So we have this massive generator. I mean, it's huge and it's loud, but it's not connected to the AC. So if we lose power, it's gonna get hot, especially with all that radio equipment.
To me,
it's gonna get hot.
If you can at least run fans, box fans,
and we will. Well, yeah, we got fans.
Yeah.
We'll circulate some air in there.
At least you wouldn't be sweating if you in front of it. They're not having any fans. That's bad, and no air circulating.
It gets rough.
Might as well just go sit outside and get rained on. At least something cool. God. And imagine trying to sleep with no air.
Oh, that's the worst.
I can't sleep with no air.
And then when it's humid and the blankets are wet and sticking to you.
Oh, yeah. I'll be pacing back and forth. Pissed off.
You pull the blankets off of you and it's like...
Oh, no. Draws are sticking in your ass and...
Hurricane Lily, that did it. I mean, that messed up our school, like our auditorium, I believe it was. It got messed up, and
I remember for that storm tossing and turning and tossing and turning. Could not sleep because it was too hot.
We had no power for 2 weeks
with the windows open. Still no air coming in. You would think all that air outside is gonna get in here if we open the windows. Nope.
No, just the humidity, just the wetness.
Maybe if you're in a mobile home, a single wide. You got all these windows close together on either side, you might get some air circulating, but not in a house. There's just too much, it's too wide to really get air circulating well in it. We were in a brick house and you didn't feel nothing coming there. You have to stand right in front of the window to feel anything. You can't stand up and sleep against the window.
No. Well, aside from the hurricane, man, what
you be hoping somebody forged just to have a little bit of air move around.
Not that stanky air.
Oh.
Although it might smell just a little bit worse than the humid air. You ever? Okay, have you flown before?
No,
on an
airplane.
I don't want to. It's crazy, man, because you'll be in another state, and you get on aboard this airplane, and you're locked in.
Yeah.
In the capsule. So you're not really losing air. They keep the air pressure at a certain amount. So you're locked in this capsule. So you still, I mean, they have ACs and stuff, but you're in this half artificial, half air from the state that you left in.
Yeah.
And when you get back to Louisiana, when they open that plane door and then when you step outside, that air hits you and it's nasty, and you really understand what humidity is. I went to Seattle and it wasn't even, I mean, it might have been 70 degrees, but walking out of a plane in Seattle at 70 degrees for a South Louisiana boy, it was like cold. Like the air was cold. I didn't understand. I was like, the air's cold. It ain't even that windy. It's 70 degrees, but this shit's chilly. What is going on? But it was crisp. Like the air was crisp.
Yeah.
And then flying back, and you get off that plane, and it's like somebody takes a blanket that's soaking wet and hot, and they throw it on you, and then they got some hair dryers that they're blowing full speed on you. It's nasty and hot and wet, and it's the air. It's just the air.
Yeah.
And it can be 70 degrees too, but you get back and it's sticky, and it's just it feels like it smothers you coming back from another state. When you live in here for years, it's still bad, but you don't realize how bad it is until you get out of that air and then come back into it.
Yep.
But aside from the hurricane, man, what you got going on? What you been doing, dude?
Work 2 jobs, see about 2 kids, see about the house, the yard, stay tired all the time.
Oh, you already tired me out just talking about that.
Man.
Oh.
You got to constantly clean behind the kids.
Kids are something else.
Just because you off from work doesn't mean you off.
100%.
I'm on vacation and I had to work my other job, my side job, and then I had to keep cleaning the house. I did floors today. Sweep, water mop, vacuum, see about the kids, clean the kitchen twice. Cook. It's just one thing after another. Then I hit a raccoon the other night on the way to work.
Dude, I seen that.
Busted up all my front bumper. Yeah, State Farm's gonna pay for everything.
It was cracked and hanging off. I seen that.
And give me a rental and everything. But man, it's to have time to go see about all that. You know.
Did you got rental insurance?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah,
they're gonna cover it.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't rental insurance? And it's only like what, $5 a month?
Something like that. I'm
$3
glad
to $5 a month.
A while back, I took it. I asked about it, and I took it. I said, "You never know."
You never know. That's and great decision.
I checked with them. It's like $20 a day, like with Hertz.
Mm-hmm.
But up to $600 something they'll pay. So that's a bunch of days.
Yeah, you can. I mean,
Man.
you don't have to pay anything.
No, they'll pay 20 up to.
It's a bumper, so they'll fix that quick.
Oh yeah, but that was my biggest concern because I knew I was gonna get paid for. But State Farm gave me an estimate of $800 something. But I got to go get an estimate from the shop for them to look at it and make sure there's no further damages that would cost more. But they make those cars cheap these days. But
look, man, I gotta be honest. We're not obviously sponsored by anybody, but I've had State Farm all my life when I started driving, and their insurance and all my vehicle experience. And I gotta say, State Farm steps up, man. You pay. I think they're well priced too. The prices aren't bad, but I mean, State Farm steps up to the plate. They take care of you. You can get rental insurance. Yeah. I think it's less than $5. I think it's only like $3.50 or something like that a month extra on your plan for rental insurance, and then you can also get windshield insurance.
Yeah,
which is even cheap too. That's probably only another $2 or $3 a month. That's nothing. But like your windshield gets cracked, it's in your vision. They replace the whole windshield. It just gets it done.
Yeah, I love it. The only thing I could say is I wish you can use the rental insurance if your car breaks down. That doesn't cover if it breaks down and it's in the shop. It's just for a wreck. They should offer a few dollars more. But only up to a certain amount of time. You can't just say, "Oh, my vehicle's broken. I need it for 3-4 months." No, it needs to. When it goes into a shop, you should be able to get a rental.
I think
unless the dealership has it to where they'll loan you out one. If you buy a brand new one with them, I'm sure I know they got rentals. They'll probably lend you one while it's in the shop if it's brand new and under warranty.
Yeah, if it's under warranty, yeah.
They'll probably lend you one or charge you very cheap for one.
I know a lot of dealerships used to, they use those program vehicles and all that. And, that was a good way to get a discount, boy. You'd go buy a program vehicle instead of one of the other ones. And, they had mileage on them as the ones other people used when, they would loan them out for reasons like that, and you could get a good deal on a fairly new vehicle. But some people act up in them rentals.
When I was younger, and I listen to people, they always knock you. People that don't have money knock. "Oh, I don't want no car note. I'd rather pay stuff out cash." But they don't ones always having problems with vehicles, and or they don't have their vehicles stuck on the broke down all the time. And I tell them, look, as long as I can afford a note, I don't mind having a note. That means I got something of quality, And I financed my new car for 6 years. I could see myself within 2-3 more years trading it in and get another new one with full warranty, If you have one vehicle, you better have a damn good vehicle if you want to travel and you depend on that vehicle. Which you could get another vehicle and it'd be a lemon, but
It's all about the warranty. It really
Yeah.
is. It's all about the warranty and what warranty you can get for how long and when you're going to pay it off according to the warranty. That's really the look. I managed to get, and the longer it gets, I mean, you lose some of the warranty, but I managed to finance a vehicle for 7 years with warranty lasting all those 7 years. Now, a lot of the warranty after so long, it goes away, but I still have some kind of warranty on some of the parts, some of the specifications that still last a full 7 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I
worked for that deal.
I can see myself keep trading in every 4 or 5 years just to have something that's in great condition, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't like messing around with hate
it's either paying a note and never really hardly having problems and having a warranty, or have something that's paid and you got to keep dumping money into a used vehicle, and it keeps depreciating in value. I mean,
yeah. The other option
if you can afford a certain amount every month, it doesn't kill you. Hey,
the other option is leasing, and that's what my wife's parents do.
Oh.
They lease. You pay, like, you only have the vehicle for like a year or two.
Oh.
And you pay notes on it, but it ain't yours. Like, you're just renting it. And as long as you don't goof it up, you can just get it in and get a new vehicle. So you don't have to worry about depreciation because you only keep it for a year or two anyways.
Wow. That might be something I have to check into.
Yeah, that's, talking to a lot of people, they tell me that really is the way to go. If you got to be able to afford the notes. The notes are a little bit higher. It's what a lot of the richer people, the people with more money, lease vehicles because they don't have to worry about depreciation. They can get the newest vehicle. Yeah. Every time it comes out, the newer vehicles, every 2 years you get a new vehicle. And you can get the top of the line stuff.
Well, you know when you get a new vehicle,
you just don't wreck it because then all of a sudden
it depreciates so quick. A vehicle,
yeah.
You paying on something that might be $30,000 for 6-7 years, and then by the time it's paid off, it's worth $10,000 or less. I mean,
I've never leased. I've went out. I've bought new, and I ride my fucking vehicles till the wheels fall off. Martin Lawrence, but. That's what I do. It's always been my philosophy, and I get my money's worth out of it. I feel anyways. But they tell me leasing is the best way to go because you get a brand new vehicle every year or two.
And if you have plenty of income, I mean,
yeah, if you can afford it.
If you got to pitch pennies every month, then yeah, you need to pay something off, and it gives you more money per month. But some people, what's $400 a month? You know?
Yeah.
Me, I drive a small car. I'm happy with that, I might spend, in a whole month, I rip and run a lot around town and go get my kids. I might spend $80 in a whole month in gas.
Cool. I wish.
If that.
But you live close to work and, fairly close.
Yeah, I pay no more than $80 a month.
And
I never watch to not go here or there. I might spend $20 a week.
All right, bro. You seen those people licking ice cream and putting it back in the coolers?
Yeah, I seen that.
It's gross. Don't make you want to punch people.
I wish somebody else, not a worker, because they'll get fired, but another customer would run up and just punch them in the face. That'd be awesome.
It's terrible because they have to go. Like, you have to recall all that and stuff. Like, you have to start pulling all that off the shelf.
Well, that's people acting like animals. You don't even. You should be banned from the store.
Dude, there's a video of somebody after all this stuff. I think this one's actually older before that trend, but I seen it today. I guess it's gaining popularity after people licking the ice cream and putting it back on the shelf. But there's another video, probably going more viral now than it initially did.
The mouthwash?
Of a woman, no. It's a woman. She's in the produce section. She's laying in the produce section. She's laying all across the vegetables and stuff in the produce section. And it's doing the mist thing to keep them warm. And she's like grabbing leaves and she's like pretending to bathe herself. She's got her clothes on, but she's like wiping lettuce and like wiping her butt with the lettuce and all of this crazy stuff. And she's like laying all over. They have to pull all those vegetables out and just throw them. Yeah. Like just wasting this produce. They're like. Oh, people would
start throwing them in jail for a year for doing that. They gonna stop.
They don't understand. Number one, you're causing. That's a health violation. Number one,
it's not your property to be doing stuff like that.
And you know how much.
Period.
I mean, you know how much a loss is in there.
They
have to throw all of that out. Even stuff that isn't contaminated, you got to assume it's contaminated, and you got to throw it out. That's a big amount of loss. Not only is that a loss for the supermarket selling it, but for the farmers that, they got their proceeds, but I mean their product is just getting wasted. It's
they don't respect anybody and anybody's property.
It's
just a good time. It's a laugh.
That's what it is. It's a lot of disrespect. A lot of disrespect. People with... is it really worth the attention that you're going to get online, which is going to go away after a week? I mean, people that do that stuff, I'm on that viral video. You last for a week. And then you fade into...
an asshole. That's all you do.
You fade into obscurity and into oblivion, but you're probably going to go to jail and pay all of these fines, and then nobody's ever going to remember you. Quit trying to be internet famous, people. Yeah. Stop it.
Do something good to get online. Help somebody. Save somebody's life.
There was a woman in around New York City. It was NYPD that was there, and she got caught shoplifting. She was buying groceries, and she had some stuff in one of her bags that she didn't pay for. This is all allegedly, anyways. But she bought some of the stuff, but she tossed some stuff in the bag, I think, extra that she didn't pay for, and she got busted for shoplifting, and it was all food. Yeah. And when the cops went to, see about the situation, she started crying, and she said, "Look, I'm hungry. Yeah. I'm hungry. I can't, I'm just trying to get..." The cops paid for the rest of her groceries. How amazing is that? They paid for it, and they were like, "We understand. We'll pay for it. No problem. Yeah. Get your food. You want a little bit extra? You want this or that? We can pay for that too." I mean, that's the stuff that needs to go viral. Yeah. Not people licking freaking ice cream and putting it back. That's freaking disgusting, man. People with no respect, no self-respect. You can't even respect yourself if you do something like that.
Nope.
Crazy. But it gets a lot of clicks, and everybody shares it, and they try to steal those clicks too. It's the internet game. That's how all that crap works. Oh.
I have no patience for people like that. None.
When you're younger, you think it's both. The older you get and the more experience you get, you start cutting those people out of your lives. You start losing patience for people like that. Kelly, you were a manager for a while. You had people, maybe, I don't want to say like that, but you probably had irresponsible people, goofy people working underneath you. Not goofy, but irresponsibly goofy. You know what I mean?
They don't care the way you care.
Right.
It's a career for me. For them, it's just, I'm going to just get this job for a while until something else comes. But you don't help the cause when you just don't care,
Then you have somebody that worked underneath you that would just roll out the shop and go walk across the Sonic and just go eat at random times and stuff.
He got fired quick. Sitting in his vehicle on the clock, just chilling. Yeah.
You have to work, people. My goodness.
You work at a business. If that business doesn't do good, you can lose your job. If that business closes, then you have no job. Mm-hmm. So if everybody takes it serious, you should have a job for the rest of your life.
You gotta. I mean,
you have bills to pay. I mean,
that's a good point, because there's a lot of people that don't, whatever business they work for, they don't care whether or not that business makes money.
Yeah.
Whether or not they benefit from their work. They're just there to collect a paycheck. But they don't care that they're actually contributing to the business. You want your business to succeed so they can keep giving you paychecks.
Yeah.
If you don't care enough and you just goof around and you hurt the business.
What if you're working at a certain business, certain store name, and they go out of business in your town? Then you got to be transferred to another one that's an hour away. Then when the store that you're working for is 5 minutes from your house.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that hurt you a lot? They don't even think about little things like that, you know? Like for me, I'll barely even put gas to go to work. If I had to drive an hour away because my store shut down, that would hurt me.
Yeah.
It's taking time out my day to go, extra travel time, extra money.
It's an hour to go, an hour to come back.
You know, I don't take that for granted, just being close to work, you know.
Yeah, there's people with no self-responsibility, no like, I don't know, man. These I can't believe that. But the internet, man, people have done dumb pranks like that. Like, we used to do that stuff in high school, okay? Yeah, it was dumb pranks in high school, and it's a bunch of immature kids, okay? But nowadays,
it's like...
Nowadays, it's like...
the stuff they doing so off the wall, you know?
It's on the
like,
internet.
Who would even think about licking an ice cream and putting it back on it? Like...
it's stupid.
You have to be a retard.
It's stupid.
Like, that's not even funny to me.
It's not.
At all. That's something like, you're lucky you don't get shot for doing that.
I don't know.
They don't even deserve this little time we're giving them right now.
You're right. Hopefully this trend dies down soon, because it's super upsetting. I mean, I annoying just to see people act like that. And the fact
they keep showing all that just gives more deadheads an idea on what to do to up the ante so they can be on the internet. You should be able to shoot them with a stun gun every time they do something stupid like that. Let's post that shit online. You fucking flopping like a fish on the floor. How funny that shit is. Why are you licking the ice cream?
Those videos would probably go even more viral, because most people that watch those videos don't think it's funny. They get upset. So they would probably actually like watching those people flop around on the floor with some with the taser things embedded. I always thought that was so vicious. Okay, so you got two different type of tasers, right? You got the electric one where you just get shocked.
Yeah.
And then you got the one that shoots the metal prongs into you. And then it shocks and it stays connected so you get shot. Like, these things dig into your skin. So, in essence, you get stabbed, and then you get shocked.
Oof.
And it stays in your skin. It's still in there. That looks and then they got to pull it out. They got to pull those metal prongs out your skin, and it's got to dig the meat out and stuff. That's what I don't ever want to do anything that has me getting hit with those types of tasers. Those are the ones that look brutal.
Hell yeah.
But that's the ones that they shoot from a distance, right? Because the electric ones, it's from one metal piece to another, and the beam just goes from one side to another. Well, if somebody is 10 feet in front of you, you can't get them there. So they shoot the gun, and the prongs fly out, 5 feet, and you can hit them from a distance.
That looks brutal, dude.
Oh, and
they
digs
just standing
into
there
the skin.
and just pulling that trigger while you on the ground. Shoot them dead in the nuts. The motherfucker ain't getting hard no more.
Man, not anything I ever want to try. Your brother one time, because your dad was a police officer, and he had some pepper spray.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me take a sip of this before I reminisce about this story. But your brother had one of your dad's pepper spray canisters, and he brought it over to me, and he was showing me at my dad's house. My dad lived in a mobile home, and it was this small little threshold between the kitchen and the living room. And he was standing in the living room, and I was in the kitchen. We were like right over the threshold. And he was showing me it's pepper spray. I was like, okay. I'm looking at it. He hands it to me, and I'm just holding it in my hand, like twirling the canister around, looking at it. And I do just one little small in the air, okay? Neither one of us are standing by it. Like, he kind of backed up. I kind of backed away. I held my hand out, extended my arm, and just did tiny. Didn't even hold it for long, just a little bit. And you don't see it. I mean, it sprays you see it for half a second while it sprays, and it just dissipates in the air.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk into this pocket where I spray later and see how I don't want to spray it directly in my face. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spray it in the air and let it sit there for a little while. Then I'll walk through it and see, weakened what it's like. And it was in the air. I guess the cloud was just sitting there, slowly dissipating. But it had been probably 5-6 seconds after I sprayed it, and I thought, okay, that was enough time for it to kind of break up a little bit. And I walked right into the cloud of where I sprayed it, and I immediately hit the floor on all fours. And I turned around, and I was like, I couldn't breathe. I crawled to my dad's. My eyes were burning. My sinuses were burning. It just burns you all up in there. And I army crawled all the way to my dad's bathroom and, like, turned on the faucet, and I was, like, rinsing my eyes out and rinsing my sinuses out. Man, that stopped me. And I heard, there's stories where pepper spray doesn't stop people and people can keep going. Well, power to them, because I had that little bit, and it was delayed. I just walked into a cloud of it. I didn't even spray it on me in my eyes. I don't know how somebody gets through that, man. That was rough.
Yeah, I bet.
It's one of my favorite stories. Those were good times. As we're about an hour into this podcast, man. I'm glad you were able to come in and we could at least get one in the books. We could stay consistent. We got the hurricane coming, and I wanted to do it Saturday. I wanted to play some disc golf. How long has it been since you got to fling some disc around on a real course?
Last time we played, I mean,
God, I don't even remember. I don't even think.
Probably at least 2 years.
Yeah, since I haven't
3
played,
years?
I don't think, since my youngest son has been born. I don't even know if I can aim anymore.
I don't even remember the last park we played at.
I don't either.
I want to hit Gerard, though. I missed that course.
We played that one. I mean, it was one of the closer ones. It was one of the easier ones. We played that one, I think, more often than any others. It was a short one, just a nine-hole course. Played it, twice. Played 18. Whew, it's been a long time, though. We got to get out there. Obviously, the hurricane's gonna ruin all of that, but we got to find another time, another weekend where we can get away.
Man, I'm disappointed. I can't even on vacation, I can't go play disc golf.
It always rains, I feel, when you're on vacation, when you take time
when
off
we go to Florida
something.
or anything, the rain follows. Like,
that's what I feel like. That's always been the story.
God.
And now the beaches.
Any other time is dry, no rain.
Now the beaches are all full of algae too, so you can't even go swimming in Mississippi and all that.
Yeah, it's all shut down.
Yep.
Because of bacteria and algae.
Crazy, yeah.
And then you're starting to hear of more shark bites, finding sharks even closer to the beach than it used to. I mean, it's not even safe to go more than a few feet in the water.
Yeah, I like going. You know what I like doing? The closest.
Sitting on the edge sit down on the edge where the water just touches
your feet,
and let the little bit of wave just come on you, on top of you. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't need more than that.
Well, I like to walk and, walk on the edge where not even every time the tide comes in, just a few times it comes in, it actually catches your feet. You walk along the beach, and then I like to just go sit, lay out, just chill. I like to look at it.
Yeah.
Would you look at that? Dude, did you see the Ed Bassmaster when he went to the UFC?
Yeah, I seen that.
239. Dustin Poirier was there.
I watched what you posted.
That was funny. And Dustin did pretty good, man. He handled it pretty well. It was awkward.
It was quick.
Yeah.
He was more worried. Ed was worried about a woman or something that walked by. And he said his name. It said, what is it? Something Diamond his name?
Yeah, Dustin the Diamond Poirier.
Oh, Lord.
And then there was, you seen John Jones? He was like, yeah, you want to do it? And John Jones was like,
oh, no, not unless somebody tells me to.
Yeah.
He said,
he just rolls out.
I'm
He's
not
kind of an
getting
asshole.
I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah. What an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
What an asshole.
Dick.
I mean, even Stipe did a little bit. And
Steroid motherfucker.
Dude, there's
drug head motherfucker.
If you just go look John Jones steroids before or after, just Google that and look at the picture, and that's all you need to see. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to see. That's it. I mean, it tells the whole story. I was a fan of him coming up. When he was young, before he won the title, even when he won the title the first time, I was still kind of a fanboy of his. But I watched him come,
He's a hothead now.
Yeah, well, he's just an idiot.
He's not humble.
He's a drug head. He's a roid head. Coke addict. Just.
Man, I watched some other videos of Ed Bassmaster soon, and he likes to do that. He goes trying to buy some cars at a used car lot, and he tells that he's talking to that guy. That he asks him how much that vehicle is, and the guy gives him the price and that. And Ed's on the outside of that vehicle, pushing on it, seeing how strong that vehicle
trying
is.
To flip it over.
Oh yeah, he's and he steps back and does. Psh, psh, that's too much money. Psh. Like, come on. How do you know how good that vehicle is by pushing on it? You didn't even have the keys yet.
I've seen that video. He kicks the shit out of the tires,
too. What?
He just goes up and just kicks it. Wow.
That guy's looking at him like, who the hell is this? Who brought this homeless bum into my parking lot? Then he tells another guy, he's like, I'm opening up a car lot next week. I'm about to put y'all out of business. That guy don't even give him a second thought about it. Like,
okay, good.
You see that? You seen that sweater he's wearing? Oh my god!
Awful.
Yeah, you gonna open up a car lot with that damn sweater on? Where you got that from? The Goodwill or the Orkinville plaque? Come on now.
It was the Goodwill, but it wasn't a sweater when he bought it. It was like an Afghan. They call them Afghans. Do people know what Afghans are? Like a throw blanket. You know what an Afghan is?
I think.
It looks like that. They just turned it into a sweater. An Afghan.
You seen what he did to Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
He went on the side of him. Hey, I met you before. Joe was just looking at him like...
I was doing an interview. You were in the background.
Yeah.
Joe was like, who was that? Uriah Faber was across from Joe Rogan. Uriah Faber he recognized him. He knew who the comedian was, Ed Bassmaster. And so he was like laughing at it. If you watch his face when you rewatch that, he's like, the whole time. It's pretty funny.
It's funny when people actually know who he is and they're like, yeah, that's the psh guy.
It's crazy because Rogan is a comedian, so Rogan probably really appreciated it. Once he figured out who this guy was, he probably really...
I didn't know Rogan was tattered up like that.
Oh, dude.
All his arms are all tattered up.
He's covered with tattoos. He's freaking shredded, too. He's shredded, man. He's shredded. Now, he takes some stuff. His head has gotten a little bit bigger.
He can take what he wants because he's not in the... he's not a fighter.
He doesn't fight, so he just... He takes some I think some HGH. I think he's taking some HGH, some human growth hormone.
Then he owns
but I mean he works
they
out.
They own these gyms. I mean
he's a full on his podcast studio is like 3/4 of a gym. I mean he trains all the time. That's all that dude does. He loves to do it.
He wants these ring girls, man.
Man, I don't know. From what I understand, I think he's pretty devoted to his wife.
Oh, he has a wife. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's they keep her hidden. You have to like Google her and you only get like one picture of her. You don't get much of her, but they I take that back. There's probably like 10 pictures of her or something like that. paparazzi pictures. They kind of hide his family. If I was ever that famous, I'd like it that too. I wouldn't want my wife and my kids being in the camera view and everything like that. And I think he does a good job of kind of hushing that down a little bit. But he's got a skinny, almost kind of supermodel wife.
Oh, really?
Maybe not. I don't. She's not a supermodel, but kind of more along that like skinny. If I'm not mistaken, I think she's blonde. But, pretty attractive. But it's funny. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast a while back, and he was talking about women that work out more. And his wife, I don't know. She can't work out too much. She's skinny. Mm-hmm. But, he was just talking about, you could tell, he's kind of got a thing for women with a little bit more muscle. He likes butts, apparently. I think he's like women that do a lot of squats and stuff and build the butt muscles. I think he's a butt man. I think he's an ass man. And I can't remember what podcast it was, and it's probably in a few of them. But just hearing him talk like that, and you didn't marry that.
Yeah.
So is that really what you want, or are you just thinking about that because your wife is not that, and that's just your little extra, because you haven't had it? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but
I just looked up how much he's worth. I thought he'd be worth a lot more than that, $25 million. Seems like, man, he's been the head of UFC.
He's a humble guy though, and he's smart. He's been a UFC commentator. He's got his podcast, which makes money. Well, he does his stand-up comedy, and he did TV shows for a while. He was in a couple of sitcoms. But I mean, comedians really don't make that much money. Only the very top ones, maybe make.
So he's not running the UFC?
No, not Joe Rogan.
Well, who's
Dana White's the president?
Dana White
is who he's thinking of, but Rogan doesn't.
That's who I'm thinking of.
What you looking for? My wife is coming into the room. Oh, she's packing up. See, she's got all the grocery bags. We're going to start getting things in order, getting our ducks in a row, so to speak, as we prepare for the hurricane to go stay at the station. Always fun times, and I got to thank my wife, man. She's doing an amazing job dealing with those kids out there and preparing, and she's the one that went shopping and getting everything we need. A lot of beef jerky. To be on keto, you snack and stuff that you don't have to cook, but you can still stay on the diet. Need a lot of protein. And so we got a lot of beef jerky and things like that.
Yep.
I think what I'm going to do is I got the butane burner, like I said, whole carton of eggs and some Spam. Do some eggs and Spam for breakfast, man.
Boy, too bad you won't have your grill with you outside.
I could bring it.
Boy, that dude loves that grill.
I do grill a lot, man. I would say probably twice a week. It's healthy. It's lean. The fat drips off of it.
Quick and easy.
Quick and easy, and it's a gas grill. Look, don't get me wrong. I love charcoal. I love pits, and I love smoking, and I have an electric smoker too. So I do that, but that takes more time and more effort. But you get home, you want to eat in an hour and a half, or you got some steak to throw on the grill. It's so easy to throw it on a gas grill. Get that gas grill hot, put that steak on there, flip it over, and after a few minutes, then just pull that sucker off.
It don't take long.
Hey, man, I have to turn that ceiling fan on? Let me know if it stinks.
Ooh. They'll smell it over the speakers.
I hope not. Kelly decided to add a little flavor to the podcast. Not the kind you want.
A little. Was that really what's in the air?
Oh, well. It is, let's see. My cell phone told me it's almost time to go to bed.
You got to work in the morning.
Yeah, I got to be there in what is it, less than 12 hours. So I'll get some sleep. Probably, I don't know. I may or may not go run in the morning. I don't care. I'm going to hang out with you for a little while longer. So we'll start to wrap up the podcast, and then we'll go hang out and do whatever, shoot the shit,
Yeah. Then
so to speak.
Then I'll go home.
Go home. You don't want to get caught in the fury that's about to come. I don't know, man. I think I'm just worried about the flooding. I ain't worried about nothing else but the flooding.
I have a small car. I can't be stuck here in a lot of water. At my house, my yard don't collect any water, so. But
you had the dirt.
My land is way higher than the road and stuff, so it's turtle back already.
Mm-hmm.
So when they did the elevation test, they didn't even need to put extra dirt there. It's already high enough. Plus the trailer's like 3-4 feet off the ground.
Nice.
And the hardest rains in about a year and a half I've been there, the hardest rains, it's like one little puddle at the road. That's it. There's a bunch of crawfish fields everywhere in Point Blue, so all the water just goes in those fields. It don't even come close to getting in your yard.
See, we got a lot of that over here too, but the thing is
and it's all low over
a lot of the crawfish fields
lower than your land
over here are, well, lately before, I don't know about right now, they're probably mostly drained, but before, when we'd have the flooding problems, the crawfish lakes were full of water.
Yeah, so it's just going to dump.
It didn't have any place to go.
Yeah.
And then some of them would drain their ponds, and then it would rain the next day, and it was all full of the crawfish lake water, and so flooding is a bad thing in South Louisiana. It's something we have to keep worrying about.
It's starting to be in more places. Lafayette's getting worse. Eunice is really bad right now.
Well, we don't fix the problem, but we keep developing
Youngsville
property and
Karen Crow
and parking lots, cement parking lots. Water runs right off of cement and it goes right into the drainage. And when people build stuff, they don't worry about the ultimate end of where the water is going to go eventually. They just worry about getting the water off their property, and they build these big cement, shopping centers, and the water just, as long as it gets off their property, they're good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it just eventually just goes somewhere, and then it can't go anywhere anymore, and it comes back and backs up, and it's a mess. And the city's developing, whether it's Youngsville, Lafayette, or any surrounding areas, developing so quickly that they can't even get the drainage to work for a regular city, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's way behind. I don't. When they first planned out Lafayette, I don't think they ever knew it was going to get this big.
Yeah.
Didn't. I mean, number one, you don't build your properties higher than the road. If you do, you need to have a big ditch in between. Like, when they first built Lafayette, they were building properties higher than the road, and it just drained right into the road. Like, there was no... It was stupid.
Wow.
From the get-go, they screwed it up. And it's just been recovery mode ever since. But we're growing too fast to even catch up with recovery mode. And it's a big problem.
I seen a video today about New Orleans and on those roads that's already flooded and stuff.
They're already flooded, dude. But man, they caught it so bad.
They showed like a pump was working and it was making like a vortex on the ground. And they were talking about how it's supposed to shoot the pump. Where the pumps are going to shoot water? The roads, everything's flooded. You can't dig more than a certain amount of feet deep. There's water underneath the ground.
Yeah.
And the ocean's full of water. Where the pumps are going to shoot the water?
I don't know how it works. I have no idea. You can't.
I mean, where's it going to shoot it?
Everything is maxed out in South Louisiana. That's why they didn't want to open up the Morganza Spillway. That's why they kept pushing it off, because we kind of needed to open it because the Mississippi River is about to overflow everywhere because all the water coming in from the states in the north, but there's no place for it to come out down here. We can't open the Morganza Spillway because, entire communities would be underwater, so they would just hold it. Mississippi River is just gonna have to overflow. Like hold it, And it didn't get as bad as they thought it was going to. But now with this thing, I mean, too much water. We live on the coast. Everything drains down the Mississippi River, and we're just that's just the breaks. That's how they are. Got to deal with it.
If you moving and buying a house, you need to seriously think about building high off the ground.
Got to be high, especially.
I mean, you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You might not have a flood problem where you at right now, but 5 years from now, 10 years, it might be a problem. Because it's starting to pop up in areas they didn't have flooding problems. Now you have flood problems. I mean,
and that's because the cities are getting bigger. We're developing new shopping centers and new businesses, and you want that. It helps the economy roll, but like I said, they develop a new property. They're just worried about getting the water off of that property, and so they just dump it somewhere, and it ain't got nowhere to go. Eventually, it's full. There's nowhere for the water to go. All right, dude, we're about an hour, 10 minutes into this podcast. I think that was good enough.
Oh yeah, we got one in.
We got one in. Talked a little hurricane stuff. Branched out a little bit. Gonna keep consistent, like a high fiber diet. Sean said. We'll keep that in. So, thank you for coming in, doing this. Let's end this podcast and let's go shoot the shit, man.
Y'all have a good one.